everyone! We hope you gained something meaningful from this weekend. Whether it's a new skill or making a bunch of new friends, we all know that we had a wonderful time seeing you all participate in all the events as well as demo all your hacks.
We asked you all to share your Technica experiences, and we got an overwhelming amount of responses. Now, let's take a look at all the highlights.
We've enjoyed a packed schedule at Technica 2020. Let's recap. We started the day with hackathon basics.
Start a project start to finish within the time span of 24 hours.
Next, we got career advice from industry pros.
Find somebody whose career that you like. Strike up an unofficial mentorship.
Find something that you really like.
Then, we examined Islamophobia by using code to analyze tweets. And busted health myths with tech.
Our solution in India was linked to our HelloJubi chatbot.
We designed elegant apps with Flutter.
Because I changed that code, now the counter goes down.
Polished our resumes with help from recruiters.
Think about LinkedIn and GitHub. It's awesome for interviewers like myself.
Unwound with Kritika Negpal. Unleashed our collective creativity in the spirit of Bob Ross. Taught computers to tell the difference between cats and dogs.
To see how it did. For a lot of the data, it's actually classified pretty well.
Built websites with Google Cloud.
Upload that whole packet or zip file without any custom command.
Conquered the most technical things. Explored new worlds in Minecraft. Bonded through betrayal. Shared our Technica experiences.
So I'm getting my platform set up.
Enjoyed learning about each other's talents.
Let me be the place that you hide.
And met your four-legged coding buddies.
Excuse me, I got to sit there.
Thank you for joining us for Technica 2020. We hope to see you in person next year.
Thank you to everyone who submitted a clip for the closing video. We hope you enjoyed seeing some of our favorite parts from this weekend. And without further ado, we would like to introduce the closing speaker for Technica 2020, Kadrian Cowansaj.
Kadrian is the CEO and founder of Alpha, which is an online community that is dedicated to accelerating the careers of women in the tech industry. Alpha is part of Y Combinator's Summer 2019 Bash and has raised over $1 million in seed funding. Before founding Alpha, Kadrian was a lead software engineer at Y Combinator, and before that, she was a senior software engineer at MongoDB. And without further ado, here is Kadrian.
Thanks, Gaysna and Renee. It's wonderful to be here among so many talented coders. I hope many of you will continue to build what you've worked on this weekend, and that the new friends you've made here will be people you keep in touch with for years to come. And on that note, and very much in line with the theme of expanding your horizons, today I'm going to talk to you about one of my biggest takeaways from the last decade working in tech. And that is, no matter what path you choose to take in this industry, it will be a whole lot easier and more sustainable if you focus less on the destination and more on finding ways to enjoy the journey. So the tech industry can be exhilarating. And if you work really hard, you may eventually make a lot of money or have a fancy job title. But if you don't feel good and if you don't find the experience rewarding, it's going to be infinitely more difficult to push forward year after year. So how do you enjoy the journey? Well, that's different for everyone, and it's something that may take some time and experimentation for you to figure out for yourself. For me, I'd say the single most important thing has been finding community. So, and please note that I'm pretty introverted and I hate the idea of networking. So if you are immediately turned off by the idea that you should go out and meet new people and make friends, I say to you, keep listening anyway. So just to, define what community means, I mean finding other people who work in your field or a field adjacent to yours, who you enjoy talking with and who you feel good spending time with. These are people you can learn from and who you trust. So there are many reasons why it's important to surround yourself with these people. And a few very tactical ones I'm going to cover right now, and that is for support when you feel challenged, to empower you to advocate for yourself at work, and so you have better access to top-notch job opportunities. So when it comes to support, you can't always choose your coworkers. There may be times when you look around your team at work and you don't see anyone who you relate to. Perhaps that's because there's no one who looks like you or speaks like you or shares the same beliefs as you. And that experience of feeling like the only one can be really lonely. I think until tech teams reflect the diversity of the world we live in, one of the best ways I found to combat those feelings of isolation is to find people who you relate to outside of work and to support each other. When I've struggled at work with a challenging manager, with a project that isn't going well, or any number of other things, finding someone outside of the office that I can talk to about the problem, who's had the actual experience before or experienced something similar, has been super helpful. They can typically offer tips and strategies for getting past it, and that's what's helped me the most. And when it comes to advocating for yourself, I think there's no better way to learn more about how much you could be earning or what jobs are qualified to take on than by learning what other people are earning and how they negotiated their pay and job titles. I've been sharing my comp information openly with my community for years, and I found it to be one of the very best ways to discover when I'm underpaid. So when it's time to ask for a promotion. And it's fascinating and very useful to learn different tactics and strategies for negotiating offers and raises. And I think there's no better place to do that than learning within a community that you trust. And the last one, jobs. So in my experience, the best way to find a job that will make me happy is by getting introductions and recommendations from people that I trust. So every person has their own community of people too, and many of them are going to be starting new companies, working on a team that's hiring, or hiring themselves. And so many of the exciting offers that I've gotten have actually come through friends and former coworkers, all folks who are in my community. I think this is also a great way to end up working with people that you already know and trust, or to join a team that's been pre-vetted by one of those people. And those people know you really well and they know your values. So we've talked about why community is important, but how do you find it? So you're at a hackathon, which is a great place to look. I think hackathons in general are a great place to meet people, anywhere where you're doing something interactive with new people. So looking for events geared specifically toward people you identify with, since everything is virtual now and you want to interact with other people at these events, I would say look for events that have small breakout sessions or Slack channels associated with them, things like that. And of course, check out ELPHA, ELPHA.com. So that's the online community that I'm building specifically for women and non-binary people in the tech industry that want these relationships. So our members find support, mentorship, friends, job opportunities, and co-founders and more through our network. And the last piece of advice I'll leave you with is for maintaining these new relationships you're building. And I think that is to lead with generosity. So I think making time for people and sharing your knowledge, resources, and connections without the expectation that you'll get something out of it is one of the very easiest ways to build lasting relationships and to build trust. So I've found that more often than not, generosity is reciprocated, and very often it's done in the most unexpected ways. So for example, I met an early stage founder a few years ago who is now a very good friend of mine. And back when we first started talking, I knew a few companies that I thought would be great customers for her startup. So I was able to make introductions that turned into business for her. And then later when I launched my company, Alpha, she'd been working on her startup now for more than a couple years. And I was coming into building my startup without experience in sales. I was a new founder. And it was something I really needed to start doing fast to get the company off the ground. So that same friend had already figured out her really effective sales strategy. And she was able to shed light on how to do sales and how to get started on it. And that helped me really get my sales process off the ground. And if you'd asked me when we first met, I don't think I could have ever told you that our friendship would lead to those kind of outcomes. So in conclusion, go meet people, offer to help them, be generous with your time and knowledge, and I predict good things will happen. Thank you so much for listening, and good luck.
Thank you again for joining us at Technica this year. We hope that you had an amazing time hacking, watching workshops, meeting sponsors, and so much more. See you all at Technica 2021.